Hey guys, and welcome back to Beast Quest, where I will read the first book of Series 4, Nixa, the Deathbringer. I'm gonna read the prologue and the dialogue of Taladon. Surprising. I know. Taladon, the legendary father of Tom. I was surprised too when I first read this series, because, surprise, Taladon returns as a ghost. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hope you guys got something to drink with you, because this is going to be a small reading of Taladon and the prologue of this new Beast Quest. Let me turn on the music, and let's get started. Cheers, everyone. All hail, fellow followers of the quest. We have not met before, but like you, I have been watching Tom's adventures with a close eye. Do you know who I am? Have you heard of Taladon the Swift, master of the beasts? I have returned just in time for my son, Tom, to save me from a fate worse than death. The Dark Wizard Malville has stolen something precious from me, and until Tom is able to complete another quest, I must wait between worlds, neither human nor ghost. I am half the man I once was, and only Tom can return me to my former glory. Will Tom have the strength of heart to help his father? This new quest would test even the most determined hero, and there may be a heavy price for my son to pay if he defeats 6 more beasts. All I can do is hope that Tom is successful and that I will one day be restored to full strength. Will you put your power behind Tom and wish him well? I know I can count on my son. Can I count on you too? Not a moment can be wasted, as this latest quest unfolds. Much rides upon it. We must all be brave. Taladon. Prologue of Nixa, the Deathbringer. Yeah, itchy nose. Farmer Gredlin stood at the edge of his wheat field. 2 days before, the wheat had been waist high, shining golden in the sun. Now it was dull gray, mostly black, and a damp, musty smell came from it. This is worse than the time the crops were scorched by fire, Gredlin muttered to himself. Is Irino under threat again? The farmer strode out into the wheat field, pushing aside the dying stems. He was desperately searching for any patches that were as yet untouched by the evil blight. At the opposite side of the field, the wheat was still golden, but most of his crop had been destroyed. The harsh rays of the morning sun slanted down, dazzling Gretelin as they struck something on the ground. Shielding his eyes, the farmer saw a tiny, strange metallic object half buried in the earth. As he reached to pick it up, the wheat rustled around him, though there was no wind. The stalks curved and swooped like dozens of arms, trying to hold him back. Confused, Gretelin backed away from the metal object. The wheat hissed and thrashed around him. "It's alive," he whispered. Turning to flee, he pushed his way through the writhing stalks of wheat to the edge of the field, then halted as he heard a voice carried on in the breeze. He pressed his hands to his ears. The sound stung like his eardrums had been slashed with razors. Looking to see where the voice was coming from, Gretelin spotted a woman at the opposite side of the wheat field, where the crop still grew tall and strong. She was slender, with long golden hair. She wore robes of scarlet silk that floated out around her as she walked towards the farmer. She cast handfuls of glittering dust over the wheat, and where it fell, the golden stalks shriveled and turned gray. Around her feet were the still bodies of other villagers, slumped on the ground. "Hey!" Gretelin shouted. "Stop that!" Angrily, he began to run towards the woman, waving his arms above his head. "Get away from my wheat!" The woman glided up to him, her bare feet hardly touching the ground. She held out her hand, a strange silver object with a silver of blue enamel rested on her open palm. It looked like the thing Gretelin had seen half buried in the earth. Squinting in the sunlight, he realized that it was a piece broken off a much larger object. He could just make out faintly edged marks on one side. Then his mouth gaped in astonishment as he realized that the scrap of metal wasn't resting on the woman's hand. It was floating just above it. "Who are you?" Gretelin asked, his voice hoarse with fear. Surely she couldn't be human. "My name is Nixa." Now the woman's voice was soft and beautiful. But as she spoke, the bright morning sky changed to a threatening purple. Clouds swallowed up the sun. The purple darkened to black. "What's happening?" Gretelin gasped. The air vibrated with a sound like thunder. As the farmer stared in horror, the woman began to change. Her arms split and became a mass of thrashing tentacles. Her two eyes divided into a cluster of bulging, glistening spheres. Her scarlet robes dissolved, and her body shagged into 1,000 wrinkles. Green slime seeped out from her and dripped onto the ground. Gridlin choked on the full stench of that flooded... on the foul stench that flooded around him. "My name is Nixa," the monster repeated. Her voice still sounded like a beautiful chime of bells. But it stabbed Gridlin's ears like a knife. He slapped his hands to the sides of his head, and felt blood spurting between his fingers. Farmer Gridlin screamed as a mass of tentacles reached out towards him. And that was the prologue of Nixa, the Deathbringer. It's prologues like this that makes me question if I should put this on for kids. It's books like these that make me question if they really are for kids or not. Then again, it does say 7 and up over here, so I have no idea. I just dropped the bookmark. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this prologue. And I hope you will join me next time in the first chapter of Nixa, the Deathbringer. Here's the map that we're going to explore this time around. You can pause the video and look at it if you want to. They're back in Eventia, by the way, so... well, back in Eventia. Because there are new locations in this one. But yeah. Hope you guys like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you guys are interested in the 4th series of Beast Quest. Bye-bye! I already made a playlist of it, so yeah. Bye-bye!